Hey, you. Welcome back to another episode of Mind Unravel. I am your host, Imani Mitchell, also known as your favorite wellness educator. I am so grateful to have each and every one of you here. If you are here in this space, you are here to prioritize yourself, to increase your self awareness, and just to really start to take the steps toward reaching your fullest potential and experiencing the very best in this life. We talk about all the things, right, related to our mind, bodies, and spirits, and everything in between. So, as always, I'm so grateful to have you here. And yeah, we're going to dive right in. So, for this particular episode, I want to talk about, well, the title of the episode is going to be Keep Going, especially when life gets hard. And I feel like it was very important because one, it's the second to last day of 2023, and I feel like around this time, we're starting to, or the world is starting to get prepared for the next year, right? We're doing our New Year's resolutions. We're writing down, all of the goals that we want to accomplish, and rightly so in so many regards. But oftentimes, I think that when we reflect on the year that we've had, it can leave us feeling unaccomplished, unsuccessful, resentful in so many different cases, or maybe resentful is not the word, but regretful, and just again, just so many other different things because we feel like we just haven't done enough, right? And I found that for myself over these past couple of years, over these past couple of months, although I've experienced a lot of great things professionally, personally, I've been lacking over these past couple of months, and I'm sure it's maybe has just been a buildup of things that I just haven't been like taken care of, and so just kind of all hitting the fan and really just exposing what isn't sturdy as far as like my own self care journey and foundation. But yeah, I really, like I said, these last couple of months have really been pretty challenging for me to the extent that I've reached a point where I'm, I'm almost scared to say it because I think that in this line of work or just when you are just trying to help others, right? You want to put on the face of the expert, right? You want to put on the face of you know it all, and I feel that that is so damaging in and of itself, but it leaves no room for growth, right? And when I do reflect, there's been a lot of growth, and so that is why I continue to show up despite my limiting beliefs, despite what other people may feel, whatever. But yeah, these last couple of months I've reached a place where I've become okay with the thought of death. Like I've been like, and it's not from a suicidal perspective because I'm far from that, but I've been come to a point where I am okay to, like, if I died tomorrow, I feel like I would be okay. And that really, and I think, honestly, I really expected to talk about this moment in my life far off in the future. Like, honestly, I guess I have pictured myself speaking about it a year from now, when I was on the other side of those thoughts. But I feel that it's so important to, speak about the now because, as always, I know that I'm not the only person who experiences just life, right? Like, life can be hard, life can be challenging. And it's very comforting when you understand that other people are also going through like similar things. And as always, like, I'm here to encourage, I'm here to uplift. So it's like, as I am uplifting myself, as I am encouraging myself, I'm going to always do that for you all because that's just what I'm here to do. So yeah, so I've gotten to this place, and I've gotten here because I've just felt so tired. I felt tired of the constant work of working on myself, working on my professional goals, working at school, doing my work for my school. Like, I've just felt so tired of it all. And I think that, but I'm tired of that, but also I'm still in this waiting area, right? I'm waiting for certain things to happen for me professionally. I'm waiting for me to be done with school. I'm waiting for me to reach a point where I'm not stressed or triggered by the same things. I'm waiting for the time that, again, just so many things that I'm just on the other side of, like, so many different things that I feel like I've been in for a long, like, seasons I've been in for a while. And yeah, again, I've just grown tired. And then when I think of, like, wow, okay, life is going to be a constant, like, it's going to be a constant cycle of these highs and these lows. And it's just like I've reached a point where I just feel like I just don't want to do that. Like, I am okay. I am okay with that. If my time was tomorrow, I will be okay with that. Like, I am no longer afraid to die at this age. And it's like, it's scary to say that. And it's also sad for me to say that, but it's also freeing in a way, because it's like, I realize that there's just more work to do. Right? Because it's like, although I've reached that point, I'm also like, okay, I've surpassed so many different things, right? Like, I've overcome so many different things. So it's like, I have to do the work mentally to realize that this is just another place in my life where I have to overcome. And again, I know that so many other people can share that same sentiment. So that is why today we are talking about continuing on, especially when it gets hard, because it's just important to do. It's just important to do. And so I jotted down a few things in preparation for this video. Um, but let me see. The first thing I really want to hone in on is that this life has been structured for us to grow stronger. Mentally, physically, spiritually, all of these things that we face that are hard, that are challenging, that feels like it will break us. We experience them for a reason. And I feel like that's oftentimes so, it's such a cliche saying, and it's often hard to hear, especially when we're in challenging moments, but it really is the truth. You know, when I first started styling, my sister actually shared this with me today, and if I was an easy crier, I definitely would have been bawling my eyes out. But when I first started styling, and I was just learning the journey of that. I was learning how to, think from a business perspective. I was learning how to market myself. I was just learning so much, like, all at once, that I felt so overwhelmed constantly. And she was sharing, I'm laughing now and I'm grateful that I can laugh about it now, but she was sharing with me that when I first started doing all of that, like, I would just cry. I cried a lot. I would get overwhelmed a lot. I would freeze up a lot. I would second guess myself a lot. And it's not to say that I still don't have moments where I cry, or I get overwhelmed, or I overthink. I'm not saying that. But she was like, I feel like you're so much stronger now. And, that journey started for me in 2021, I believe. 2021? Yeah, because 2023. So yeah, about 2 years ago. And so to be able to see where I am now, and for other people to be able to see where I am now, and recognize that in me, and oftentimes when I don't recognize it in myself, because like I said, over these past few months, I felt so. It's been a challenge. It's been a challenge, and yet I've kept going, but it's still been a challenge, and I felt so weak. But when I look back and I look back at that time that she brought up, I definitely see the growth for sure. And so, why I wanted to speak about this, because it's so important that we keep going. because without those moments, and as I'm saying this to you all, I am saying it to myself. That's why I'm also saying we, and I will continue to say we because this is a us journey. But when we've been challenged, we're constantly going to be challenged, and I feel that when we keep going, and despite how things are playing out in our current reality, eventually we're going to get stronger. It may not look like it in that moment, but eventually you're going to be able to look back as my sister did and as I did. And you're going to be able to say like, wow, I don't cry as much. I don't get overwhelmed as easily, right? I don't overthink as much. And whatever you feel is your cross to bear in this current season is going to get lighter. As you continue to go, it's going to get lighter. And again, that is just this is a part of what I wanted to bring forth today. Is like, I just want to encourage y'all to just keep going. Just keep going. Because you never know, or you're never, you just wouldn't see the results if you stopped. And it kind of brings me to the next thing that I wanted to mention, where it's like, don't sit in the pain, right? Because on the opposite of that pain is something good, something to be learned. It's something to take with you to be able to encourage other people, right? It's something that you are now put in position where you can be an example for your siblings, for your loved ones, for your friends, for your partner. Because that's another thing. We're not meant to do this life on our own. And so it feels so great to be able to have people who can relate to us. But then to be able to look at them and again be that to be an example and to have an example of like, okay, if they can do it, if they can press forward, I can too. And I'm sorry if this is coming off a little bit jumbly or all over the place. But yeah, I just really want to get that message across. And it's no one way to keep going. I feel like that's going to look differently for everybody. I feel like for me, I restart so many different times. Like, I restart as much as I need to. Because I owe it to myself. And I guess when I say restart, what does that look like, right? So for the longest, I've been trying to be consistent with physically moving. And I find that what works best for me is to say, okay, I am going to do this for 7 days a week. For 7 days, for 14 days, for 21 days, or until I reach a particular number, right? So an example of that was this summer, I told myself that I was going to get up to doing 250 jumping jacks per day. I think I started at 50 or 100. I feel like it was 100. But I did that and I added on 10 jumping jacks per week. And I did that for multiple reasons. One, again, to just like keep myself healthy, build up my heart. But then also to have something that I use to stay committed to myself and to build up my discipline. Because who wants to do 200 jumping jacks or, any more than like 50 jumping jacks a day? And so, again, so that was just something I did. And I find that it works for me when I do things like that. And after that, then I did another challenge where I was like, okay, I'm gonna work out every day for 21 days. I didn't do it every day for 21 days. I feel like I was consistent for like the first 2 weeks. And then like one day I kind of got thrown off. And so like maybe I would skip like a day, then I would come back the next day and then I would keep going. And then I feel like that happened like twice. So like 2 days I wasn't, or for like 2 days I wasn't doing it consecutively. I say all that to say is that do what you have to do to keep going. Restart, set a challenge for yourself, slow down, just keep going. And be okay with whatever your 100% looks like for that day. I think oftentimes we get so caught up in like, okay, if I don't do all of this, if I don't accomplish everything on my to-do list, or if I don't, if my efforts yesterday don't look like the efforts today, we may feel like a failure. We may feel like we haven't done enough. We may feel like we're lazy. We may feel like we're mismanaging our time. And while sometimes those things, not being a failure, but like sometimes yes, we may mismanage our time, and sometimes yes, we may be lazy. But in the midst of us going through those hard seasons, those challenging times when we literally just don't feel like it, we don't feel motivated, we don't even feel like passionate about things, or we're just not in a good space mentally, spiritually, physically, like all of those things are so important to take into account, that we have to understand that again, when our efforts may look different on different days or different months or different weeks, we have to get to a place where we are okay with that. Because it's all information, one. But two, it's an opportunity. How do I want to say this? Every day just won't look the same. Like I'm just not like, I don't know. This episode is really interesting, really for me. But it's not even that it needs to look, or yeah, for this episode, I don't know. I feel so like calm, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just not really caring of like saying things in a very like cute way. Think of very clever ways to say it, because I just want the message to get across. I just want y'all to feel it. I just want y'all to feel it. And I think maybe I want to feel it too, because I want to live. I want to continue to experience very great things. I want y'all to live. I want y'all to continue to experience very great things. That's the whole purpose of this show, right? And again, sometimes I think we can get so caught up in trying to tell people like how to do things and give strategies. And I feel like giving people your game plan and like the things that have worked for you, like those are great. They are. They can be used and repeated, and progress can be shown. But at the end of the day, we all go through our own things that show up for us in different ways, that make us show up in different ways, that make us think in certain different ways. And so it's like at the core, I just want to show you guys that you guys are not alone, that it's possible to keep going, even when you don't want to, even when you really just feel like giving in and throwing in the towel. Even if you were always the person who's giving the greatest advice and the strong one. Okay, now I feel like I'm going on a tangent, but my point is that be okay with every day not looking the same. Be okay with slowing down. Be okay with doing your very best day by day. And as long as you are putting one foot forward you will receive the progress that you are working towards. You will achieve the things that you want. And it's very important not to get up and get caught up in the time of it all. Because one day you'll be able to look back and see how strong you have become. One day you will be able to encourage the next person because of the testimony that you have now received. Now, I do want to mention, I feel like maybe a question that may come up is, how have I been able to keep going despite these feelings of just like really wanting to throw in the towel, not really feeling motivated, not really wanting to do a lot or anything at all. It's to remind yourself what's important to you. I think in this process of like sifting through heavy thoughts, heavy emotions, it is easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of that negativity. And it's very hard, or it can be very hard, to pull yourself out, especially if you are not using the right tools, you're not surrounding yourself with the right people. You're, just the list can go on and can be very extensive. But reminding yourself what's important to you. Like, I remember this one particular day, y'all. Like, I was just like so stressed. My mind was just not present. And I really kept allowing myself to be distracted by all of the worries and fears that I had in this particular day. And I had an assignment that was due. And actually, this particular day was extra credit. So I was already doing something that was extra. But I'm like, I set out to do this. I want to do it. I want to, safeguard my grade. I want to ensure that if, maybe if I don't get the best grade for one particular assignment, I'll have this to kind of fall back on. Like, my grades are simply important to me, right? And so, despite the pain and the frustration and the anxiety, the anxiousness that I was experiencing in that moment, I decided to just keep working through it. And it's definitely easier said than done. That's why this particular video, I'm not trying to give a whole bunch of strategies, and it's really just rooted in encouragement. And also, like, as I'm going through and I'm, working to get to the other side of this current state, I just want to be an example, continue to be an example. Like, hey, I'm showing up, right? Even for this is a commitment of mine to show up for this show. And so it's like I'm showing up. Even like this is an example of me pressing through. And so I say all that to say that sometimes we have to lean more into the logic of things as opposed to our emotions. And it's rough, it's hard, it's shitty, it sucks. Because again, in so many of those moments where you're like, ooh, I just don't have it in me, it's so easy and it's so attractive, right? To lay it all down. Like, or when I say like lay it all down, I mean literally like go lay down, chill out, don't worry about things, let things kind of fall by the wayside, not continue to take care of your responsibilities. It's so easy to do that. And again, it's very attractive, right? Like that particular day and so many other days, like I would much rather have said, ooh, forget that assignment. Forget that, forget recording, forget prepping for that, forget all of these different things. Forget my own personal commitments that I make to myself of like journaling and reading and meditating and, continuing to search for answers so I can continue to grow stronger. It's so easy to throw in the towel. But if we throw in the towel, Let me say this. If we throw in this house, okay, because each time that you wake up, every moment that you have breath in your body, it's an opportunity to make a different choice. So even if you throw in the towel, you're going to have another opportunity to pick that towel back up. But if I'm catching you before you have thrown in the towel, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it on the days that you're confused. It's worth it on the days, again, when you don't feel like keep going. It's worth it. It's worth it. And I'm not saying don't cry. I'm not saying don't yell. I'm not saying don't talk it out. I'm not saying don't do any of those things. I'm just here to encourage you to keep going past that point. Because you're capable. If you have been brought to whatever low point, you're capable to reach a higher point. Nothing that you are facing is impossible for you to overcome. You don't lack a thing. The very fact that you are watching this video tells me that you are capable and willing to keep going. Or you at least have a desire to. So allow that desire to come out on the other side of this moment, this tough moment, this challenging moment. Allow that desire to just help you keep putting one foot in front of the other, because I promise you it's all you need. I love that quote, slow motion is better than no motion, because that's real, y'all. Like, that is real. Because if you're constantly moving, no matter the speed, you're still going forward. You're still going forward. And eventually you will reach the destination that you desire. You will reach a place of happiness, of uncontrollable joy. You will be stronger and able to deal with things that might have brought you angst in the past. Come on now, what? That'll be ancient history. The things that have brought you overwhelm in the past will be ancient history. And also, I just want to say, even if the things that you felt that you have overcome, if they resurface, it's okay if that area of your life needs a little work too. This journey of evolution and healing, it's not linear, and it's not this. It's a constant thing that we must cater to, that we must do. But each layer that you unpack, each step that you take, each mountain that you overcome, each giant that you kill, that you dominate, it all gets you closer to a higher place, a richer place. And I'm not talking about financially, which I feel like it leads to that as well in some cases. But it's really everything that's internal that matters the most. And then I feel like I touched on this throughout the video, but I just want to make sure I say it explicitly. That without all of the things that we are facing, without the challenges, there is no growth. If everything was just so easy peasy, there will be no opportunities for us to show up for ourselves in better ways. It will be no opportunities for us to learn different things about ourselves. There will be no opportunities for us to grow stronger. And honestly, I feel like that's the best part, right? That is the best part of the journey. Like, it's just a beautiful thing to see yourself grow stronger. It really is. And so I just encourage you all to just keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other in whatever way that looks like for you. And y'all, I'm not encouraging y'all to go drink it out, smoke it out. I'm not encouraging that, because those are just bad coping mechanisms. I'm saying continue doing the work, right? Continue doing the things that you have to do. Continue showing up for work. Continue working on the business plan. Continue, doing the homework assignments wherever you are in your journey. Continue working on yourself. Just continue coming back, coming back, coming back. Oftentimes I feel like a broken record of reading certain things, journaling about certain things, like reading my Bible about certain things. But then I realized, like, nah, this is a strength of mine, to be relentless in my pursuit to experience the very best. And so it's like even in these lower moments, right? These opportunities for growth, we're able to see how impeccable, how amazing we are, how strong we are, even when we feel so weak, even when we feel so low, we're so strong. We're so strong because we keep showing up. We keep making effort to do the work, even if it's a baby step. So again, I just encourage you all, as you guys, if you're watching this before the new year, even if you're watching it after the new year, right? First of all, happy new year to you guys. And happy holidays, because we just passed, or whatever, whatever religion you belong to or you subscribe to, right? There's so many different practices that you may follow. So again, happy holidays, whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like to you. But yeah, again, if you're watching this after the new year, it's now 2024 for you. I just encourage you to just keep going, and to remember that as long as you have breath in your body, you have a choice. You can do hard things. And most importantly, this tough time will not last long. Seek help from the right people. Let love in, and the help from the right people. I feel like you gotta always add those little parts. But you're gonna be okay. And you're gonna be okay. All right. See you guys on the next episode. And I just want to say, y'all, we are nearing the end of season 1. I'm very, I don't know how I'm feeling about that. I'm grateful, very grateful for season 1, but I'm also looking forward to all the great things that are going to come, all of the changes, all of the maybe not changes, whatever. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't really started to carve out exactly how season 2 will look, but I'm looking forward to it. So, again, happy holidays, happy new year to you all, and keep going, especially when life gets hard.